Brock Nelson, fresh off a 3-year contract extension. Brock, thank you for joining the show. First of all, have you found permanent residence now in Denver?
Thanks for having me. It's funny you say that. Actually, my wife and I just got to town, and we're going to be here for a couple of days trying to find something and trying to get settled and then get some stuff figured out for the kids as well. So we're excited.
Well, my wife's a realtor. If you need any help, please call. Leave them a number right away, and we'll take care of you.
We'll have to pick her brain a bit.
Hey, Brock, how crazy is that, too? We've talked a lot about you and about your situation over the last couple of months, but, I mean, you're in one place for your entire career, and then you're traded to an entirely different conference in a city that you don't know. I mean, how, in addition to the new playing style and a new team, how crazy is it for your entire family? Because you have a wife and 4 kids, and I mean, it's just got to be mind-boggling.
Yeah, it feels like time's kind of flying by, and obviously the logistics of all of that. We're trying to sort through them one step at a time and not get ahead of ourselves. And obviously, getting a contract was the first part of it. Now, living situation and schools and activities and all of that will kind of filter into place. But quite a bit different, crazy situation, but obviously very fortunate to be in the spot that we were for so long. And we're obviously excited about the future as well, being in a great spot in a great city here. We loved our time, and albeit short, a couple months, but it was a great setup and great living.
Did you know you were going to come back, Brock, or was there things in your mind about going somewhere else, being a free agent and testing the waters?
I think you kind of flip-flop back and forth, just knowing obviously there's a lot of different scenarios and possibilities, but obviously we were able to work something out, and we're very excited about that. And like I said, I enjoyed my time here. I think it's a special group with a lot of special players and talent that has the opportunity to do something special. And it kind of felt like we were going to do that this past year. Obviously, it came up short and was disappointing. So looking to come back and obviously build off that and go further. And to have that opportunity to be in a great spot, great city with a team that has a chance to win it over the course of the contract, I think was the biggest thing for me. And happy to get it done here.
Listen, Brock, you spent the bulk of your career in the New York City area, obviously far different than Colorado. So I'm always wondering, when you're a free agent and you're free to sign wherever you want, how much a factor is the city, the region, Colorado? Did that play a role?
Yeah, for sure. I think once, obviously, having been traded out of New York and the possibility of being a free agent, you start to look at maybe potential landing spots after the season and trying to think about what would be best for your family in different situations like that. And Colorado is probably one of the ones that was higher on the list for me in terms of just being closer proximity back to Minnesota, is where my wife and I are from, and where we always spend the summer. And we've been out here a couple times before, and we've loved our trips out here. We've done some hiking trips up in the mountains that we've really enjoyed. So to have the opportunity to come explore a little bit more of Denver and get to know the city a little bit more, we knew it would be a great spot if it was an opportunity, and here we are.
Brock, anytime you lose in the postseason, it's devastating, whether it's a Game 7 of the first round or Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final, whatever it may be. When you look back here and you know what you've learned, how you grew as a player with your line mates and teammates, what's the future look like? You seem pretty optimistic, and we're obviously optimistic, but how do you take what happened here against Dallas and then propel that for you going forward for the next 3 years, at least?
Yeah, I think it's just that in itself. I think we all said that this year, obviously disappointed how the way it ended. And see, it feels like sky is the limit here with the group and the players that they have with Kale and Nate. Gabe coming back, obviously a big piece, a voice in the room. Val, they made quite a few roster moves to kind of go out and show and prove to everybody up there they're trying to win it right now. And as a player, I think you can't ask for anything more than that. And it just felt like a special group. And even in that series against Dallas, it felt like, more of the games than not, we were the better team and would have liked to been playing further along and still now to this day. But, hockey's a funny game. I think you learn from that how small that margin of error is in the playoffs and the opportunities that you maybe needed to cash in on to be a little bit more of a difference maker and turn the series in your favor. So use that as motivation and obviously having that same, optimism, because I think the group, going to be relatively, the same. The potential for us is extremely high.
That's the other thing you mentioned. They made a whole bunch of moves during the middle of the season, whether it was trade deadline or before that. Was it difficult to get chemistry down that quickly before the playoffs, and can this offseason help?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely. I wouldn't say it was an easy transition. I think it was a fine transition. But at the same time, I think the more you're familiar with the situation and having never gone through anything like that at the trade deadline or being traded in general, quite a different experience for me. And obviously, it was tough being away from the family. I think that was the hardest part with the kids and wife back in New York and just all that and trying to filter through and process emotions and next steps and future. And a lot of situations run through your head. So to kind of be able to be here now. In the short term, near future for a few years, will help kind of settle everybody in, I think, and will only add to that chemistry and the comfort level of, just worrying about playing hockey.
Brock, when you get eliminated the way you did, a lot of players just they go off the deep end. They don't watch hockey. Can you get yourself to watch what we've watched here for the last few weeks?
This is probably one of the first years I've watched a little bit less than I would say I normally have. I think it was kind of tough. I actually spoke to Bedsy, I think, a few weeks after, and we were kind of on the same page and kind of shared the same feelings. That it probably took me a few weeks. I think the first game I really tuned into was maybe the Toronto Game 7. Couldn't really stomach watching the West, and I was going back to the East Coast to be with the family in New York, so obviously time change a little bit different too. But now I'm trying to tune in a little bit more to the finals and watching this, and obviously this is the pinnacle of it too. And our kids love the game too, and our oldest, I remember last year too, in the same spot, we would tune into some of the finals games, and he loves it. So that brings me back to it a little bit more.
That kind of helps, I think. You want with the little ones get into it, right? That's
it kind of softens it a little bit. Obviously, there's definitely a little bitter taste, but to see the excitement for him to kind of be tuned into all the scores in the games, it makes it a lot more fun.
So you didn't tell the kids, no, we're watching baseball.
No, well, he's actually in on that too. So we're back in Minnesota. He's big on the Twins now too. So he tunes in a little bit of those. So that's kind of nice.
Hey,
I'm reading here that your wife is a former Ms. Minnesota hockey in high school. You were a finalist for Mr. Minnesota. If you don't produce 4 wicked hockey players, something's going wrong.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we got a lot of mini sticks and sticks around the house. So yeah, my wife, she was great. She actually helped out a little bit with them in New York for a few years, just kind of getting them learn to play on the ice and skate and helping out some other kids. And it's fun to have her to be able to kind of share it, and she understands everything with the game and explaining to the kids that sometimes they're a little confused, but Mom is a pretty good player.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, now listen, I've had to educate these guys about you a little bit, and I was proud to do it. I'm going to lay a little bit more on them. Listen, you're not a spring chicken anymore, but you're not an old guy. You have a lot of production in those legs. There's no doubt about it. I've been arguing to these guys, Brock, and no dispersions cast on your former team, but the Islanders weren't a super high-scoring team. You've got guys around you here who can really pass the puck and bury the puck. When you think about, again, here at the age of 33, but the possibilities of maybe your best hockey in front of you, do you think about that? Is that even possible?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's part of it too. I think, like the talent and the skill that they have here and the opportunity to kind of blend in, and hope it's a great combination for the future and something that you can use as motivation to push yourself as well. I feel great. I know, in sports and hockey, it feels like they age you a couple of years, and I obviously have the gray hairs to show for it too. But I feel great. I feel young, and I feel like there's a lot of pep in my step still, and good years ahead. So hoping to push myself and always try to continue to get better, and that could show in terms of offensive numbers, and I hope that's the plan.
Hey, Brock, let me take you back. If you remember the game that you guys played against Montreal that went into the shootout that you hit the game winner on, I believe that was the game that Jonathan Drouin went to Coach Bednar and said, hey, I think Brock's got a move that can beat this guy. First of all, is that true? Second of all, what was the move? What was he talking about?
I didn't catch it, but if he did, that's obviously a good little pre-scout, and he knew, because we didn't really even exchange what I would have done in that situation. I think we talked a little bit maybe about shoots and just how different things, and I think that one just felt like I feel like I had scored 5-0 before maybe on the goalie, and that one in the shootout, I just felt like if I could come on that same angle and maybe just get him thinking a little bit, and low glove sometimes is there. I think as a lefty coming across and you get enough angle change on it, it's a good shot. So fortunately I hit the spot.
All right, last thing for you. We certainly appreciate your time. It's great to have you back, man, for another 3 years at least. Up the middle, you guys are super strong. Heck, the whole team is super strong. You got a little bit unfortunate there in that Game 7. Okay, all hockey aside, you're from War Road, Minnesota, which, guys, is way north up there on the lake, way up there. And I'm looking at this golf course, War Road Estates Golf Course. Is that a dog track or is that decent?
Well, it depends on who you ask. When you ask, that was my first job. I worked out there on the golf course for 4 or 5 years. My brother did as well. So small maintenance crew, like 4 or 5 guys, and took care of the course. And we lived on the course growing up, so we took advantage. We had free golf. We were able to kind of run around. I would say it's when you're growing up there, it's an awesome track and one of the best ones in the area. It's a tight track, a lot of water, and then obviously you get out and you live in Long Island. You play some of the golf courses out there. It doesn't hold a candle to some of those ones out in the Hamptons, like a Shinnecock. But growing up, it was awesome.
Hey, Brock, good luck house hunting here in Denver. The typical Denver real estate agent takes 2.5-3% commission. My wife will do it for 25.
Yeah.
So give us a call.
I like it. Sounds good.
See you,
All
buddy.
right. Thanks for the time, Brock.
Thanks for having me.